So it's a good field of Streetstocks. As you said, we don't have visitors because of other clubs running tonight as well around the South Island. But as we were saying off air, Ivan, you might install the 1NZ car as perhaps the favourite out of this field.
Yeah, he's been on
It's been
form.
consistently fast this season.
Yep.
But there are actually quite a few other cars in this field who could easily win it, aren't there?
Oh, exactly. You've got Garfley off the front there in the 35 car.
Yeah.
Sean Andrews in the 46 in the wagon. Schumacher in behind him in the 77 car. Then you go back, you've got the Peterson family. There's 3 of those cars. Yep, 3 of them out there. Who else? Dave McSherry in the 62 car. You know, so there's a good handful of cars. Cody Pedley in the 26.
Yep.
Then you've got guys thereabouts that could actually turn it up and start causing a bit of mayhem. Sure, we got Dan McNally is it Dan in the 21-2 car?
Yep.
Yeah. Dan's been around plenty of time. If he's not at the point again, he could cause trouble. So, yeah, it could be anybody's game, and hopefully the Streetstocks turn it on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's right. I think, you know, whilst you'd expect the 1NZ to be there or thereabouts, he only needs to get a flat tyre in one of the heats. Remember, we're running three heats. What am I trying to say? The Speedway New Zealand 3-heat format.
Yep.
And you've really got to put together 3 consistently good heats to be the champion.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you get one heat where you get a flat tyre and you go to the back of the field because you're not getting traction and you've just not got pace, then that's going to dent your chances of winning the championship.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So, as they're gridding up, Garfley in the 35, on the inside Tranter in the 97. Then we go back to the Suck It Up sponsor machine, Falcon Parts, Sean Andrews. On his outside, we've got Pedley in the 26, the Fence New Zealand sponsored car. Schumacher in that screaming Toyota. Hear this thing get going. Yeah. Then we've got the 1NZ, Paul Leslie. We go back to the 428 of Peterson. Another Peterson in behind there. And they're about to go green. First heat of the Canterbury Streetstocks champ. And we're away and racing. Garfley gets the lead in the 35 as they go into turns 1 and 2. Sean Andrews in the 46 in the big wagon. He's trying to push his way up the inside. Schumacher's just sitting in behind him. Here comes Paul Leslie in that 1NZ car. We're going 3 wide. Is he going to get...
McSherry's got a huge amount of pace down the back straight.
He's coming through the middle as well. The 38's just been fired into the wall as they go into 3 and 4. Starting to spread themselves out. Jonathan Garfley at this stage. He's leading it over Sean Andrews. Then we go back to Corey Schumacher, Paul Leslie, Brooke Peterson. Paul Leslie's now just split Schumacher and Peterson. He's come through the middle. That 1NZ car. It's been fast all season.
Oh, and McNally spins McSherry there. McNally?
Yep. 21 team.
Yep.
That'll be Dan McNally. So Garfley, he's gone as a robber's dog. Here's Paul Leslie coming up onto the back of Sean Andrews in the 46. He ducks up the inside. Matt Peterson in the 433. Then Brooke in the 428. Oh, Schumacher.
77 got fired out towards the turn 4 wall there.
He just didn't realise the 57 coming through Kahoo as he came through there. Stevie P in the Mag and Turbo, the 28. Then we go back to Schumacher. But our race leader at this stage, as he comes out of turn 4. Garfley in the 35, the BNP sponsor machine. Then we go back to the 1NZ of Paul Leslie. Matty Peterson in the 433. Then we've got Sean Andrews. Brooke Peterson in the 428.
Oh, 6 car pulling off with pouring out in front there.
So it's get the tea bag out.
Yeah.
Garfley, Falcon Parts sponsor machine. As he buttons off, a bit of flame coming out under it. Oh, the 428. Into that Cody Pedley. You're going to get pushy and shovey, I'm going to give it back. Brooke Peterson. Dad, Steve Peterson just sitting behind watching it. All Schumacher's in behind Steve Peterson. But our race leader comes back past us again. Wraps another lap. Matt Peterson, he's got past the 1NZ. The 433, he's now in the second spot. Over Paul Leslie. Then we go back to Sean Andrews. Then behind him we've got the 46. Then we've got
the 777 and the 777 coming together on the front straight there as well.
Yeah. So they're starting to niggle it up a wee bit. The 23's just cruising around the pole line. But Garsley. He's got about 10 or 12 car lengths as he goes down the back straight. Coming up against the back markers, McSherry and McNally. What are these two doing? Will they hinder him at all?
Boxing each other all race.
Garsley's shooting up the inside. He's a bit cautious about the whole situation. McSherry's hard on the bumper. Dan McNally goes out wide, half spins himself. McSherry's just going to shoot up the inside and let him go. Something's rubbing on the 21 car. Matty P in the 433. He's still sitting in that second spot. Paul Leslie into the third. Then we go back to Sean Andrews in the fourth spot to 46. McNally just pulls to the infield. No, he looked like he was pulling to the infield. He's just pulled down again, and
I think the body work has creased and is rubbing on the rear car. That's noticed.
So nothing is in our way of our race leader at this stage. Garsley in the 35 is still leading us. And we're back to Matty P in the 433, the 26 pulls to the infield. Garsley now has just gone between the 777, he's slowed right up. He's putting these back markers through their paces. Half a lap over most of them. Gets the white flag this time round, the 35, Jonathan Garsley over Matt Peterson in the 433, sitting in behind Matt Peterson will be Paul Leslie in the 1NZ car. Then we'll go back to Sean Andrews in the 46. Then it'll be back to Brooke Peterson, Steve Peterson. But our race winner, our race leader just comes past us now, takes the checkered flag. 35 Garsley over 433, Matt Peterson. Then it'll come Paul Leslie in the Drainmate Limited sponsored car. And behind him the Falcon Parks suck it up of Sean Andrews to 46. Then we'll go Brooke Peterson, Steve Peterson. Daughter and father. And behind him with 33, that'll be Don Garsley. So,
there wasn't a huge amount of bumper-to-bumper action, but we still ended up with 5 cars on the infield at the end of the race. So that gives you some idea of how rugged that race actually was. There was a fair bit of pushing and shoving going on. It wasn't major, it was more subtle, but it's had its impact on 5 of the cars.
Yeah, exactly. So it'll be interesting to see how the second and third heat pans out.
Well, those top 5 really, you would have predicted those names to be in the top 5.
Exactly.
So the cream is rising to the top,
Yep.
Which is what this format is designed to promote. So let's, as you say, let's bring on Heat 2 and let's see how it goes. A quick mention, the quickest lap was a 20.31 by Matt Peterson.
And that's not bad.
That's
good
good time.
That's good. The track's smooth and it's got you know, it's still got a bit of moisture in that in there. They keep putting a bit of water on, and as the sun goes down, it'll. I was in Dunedin last night, and there was a few track issues, but hey, at the end of the day, there was a smooth line around the height. The Flynn brothers, and we'll be keeping an eye on the New Zealand Super Saloons. We've got 4 Christchurch cars have qualified.
Yeah, Malcolm Nartai won his repecharge.
And Hayden Mackay got through last night, as did Richie Taylor and Trevor Elliott.
Yes.
So those guys are through, so we've got 4 Christchurch cars. But the track's hard and slick, so the ugly cars will probably go good tonight.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. You know, Hayden Mackay goes well in the slick, doesn't he?
He does go well, yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. So does Trevor Elliott.
Yep.
We'll see how that goes. I just had a very brief conversation with the pilot of the 11C stock car.
Is he coming back to commentate?
I think he might be. Apparently there's issues with the rear geometry of that car. It was squatting down the back, was hitting the ground.
No, that's because he had too much lunch.
As he put his foot down, and he said it was just something was going to break. It was either going to be him or the car, so he decided to pull off and not risk it. So there you go.
So, and behind them we've got the 6 car sitting all by itself. Dan McNally and Dave McSherry sitting side by side
again. This is going to be interesting because they were side by side for a lot of the first heat.
The 21T car. Then we go back to Steve Peterson in the Vertex sponsored machine, the 28C. Trenchless Services also. Then we'll go back to 33. That'll be Don Garsley. And behind him will be the 35, Jonathan Garsley. And then Aaron Trencher in the 97. Back to Sean Andrews. We're about to go green.
Away we go.
Itchy trigger fingers for a few of them.
Yeah.
But Matty P, here comes McSherry up the inside. Matty P in the 433, he's away. Dave McSherry in the Toyota Corolla, here he comes. In the North Canterbury engine reconditioning. And behind them is a bit of a log jam. Who's getting half round? McNally
41 around.
Who just, Paul Leslie had nowhere to go. Just tubed him in the rear end. Back up to our race leader, Matt Peterson. Followed in by Dave McSherry. Garthley. Steve Peterson.
Fleming's got going again, but the 1NZ car can't for the time being. This is what we talked about at the start, wasn't it, Ivan?
Yep.
This takes one incident.
And that one incident, he had nowhere to go.
No, it wasn't his
and
fault.
it was just one of those things.
This racing incident, and this is going to compromise his chances in this championship quite majorly.
So our race leader is just coming out of their turn 4, which is normally our turn 1. That's Peterson. NZ sponsored car. Dave McSherry in the Toyota Sora just sitting behind him. 1NZ. Now, how often do you see that? Paul Leslie getting pushed off. Very rare.
Very rare. Yep.
And then we've got father and son, Don Garthley and Jonathan Garthley. We go back to Steve Peterson, Sean Andrews in the 46. Dan McNally, as I said, he'll stir things up, and he's obviously started turning a few cars around already. About to go red, about to go green. Matt Peterson, he takes us away. And we go back to Dave McSherry, the 33 and 35 of the Garthleys, and we go back to Steve Peterson in the 28. Schumacher's lifting out wide there, as is Sean Andrews. Schumacher shoots up the inside of him. Dan McNally in the 21. Bit of smoke billowing out of the 41 car there as it's floating around the back. But you hear that Toyota Sora rev it up, trying to get in the back end of Matt Peterson. Garthleys are there, Stevie P. Sean Andrews has gone round in the 46, trying to get himself in the position to turn around again. He's found the gap. But our race leader comes past us. Matt Peterson in the 433, followed by the 62. Drifts out wide, he goes up high, loses 3 or 4 car lengths. Steve Peterson on the back end of John O'Garthley in the 35. Then in behind Steve P has got the 26 and Schumacher in the 77. So if they come past us again. But Matt Peterson, he's controlling this one. About to come up with some back markers. Same for in the 97. Pretty position at the stage. Matt Peterson blocks another one off. Then we go back to Dave McSherry. Don Garthley, followed by his son, Jonathan Garthley. Steve Peterson sitting in there. And behind him we've got Cody Pedley in the 26 car. Corey Schumacher in the 77. Then we go back to Brooke Peterson. Dan McNally. Nothing really changing at this stage as they go through. Matt Peterson still leading us. A wee bit of smoke starting to clear out the back of the 433 as they come down past us. Smoke's getting a wee bit thicker. Dave McSherry will see that. Maybe just a bit of a leaking out of the diff. He's got 4 to go at this stage. Dan McNally, he's into it again. Who's he into? With the 6 car. They're going side by side, pushing each other to the infield. Come back out onto the track again. He just turns around right in front of Matt Peterson, our race leader. He manages to avoid it. He goes around the outside of McNally. Then we've got Dave McSherry. These two into each other in the first race. What's going to happen now? No, McNally leaves them alone. Everybody's a bit cautious of what the 21's going to do. Garthley, he can see him there. McNally's on the brakes. Just trying to be a nuisance as he pushes him. Just gets him out of the way. Doesn't affect his placing at this stage. So our race leader is entering their turn 3 at this stage. He comes round. He'll pick up the white flag this time round. Matt Peterson shoots up the inside of the 6 car for his last lap. Dave McSherry in the 62. Then we go back to Jonathan Garthley, Don Garthley, Steve Peterson, Schumacher and Pedley. So our race leader coming round our 1 and 2, which will be there 3 and 4 for the last time. Matt Peterson picks up the race win in this heat. Then we go back to Dave McSherry. And we've got Jonathan Garthley in the 35. Then we go back to Don Garthley in the 33. Steve Peterson in the 28. Then we'll have Schumacher in the 77.
So that was a good result for Matt Peterson. We had a I think a third in the first heat, so he's going to be sitting pretty, if you like, on the top of the points table, I suspect. Although
Dad, Steve will be there because he was in the top half dozen in that first race as well.
So it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. But Dave McSherry had a much better race that time round than he did first time. Quickest lap was a 20.695 by Matt Peterson early on in the race. So that's interesting. Now I just wonder, being with me, folks, I'm just wondering if it's going to be possible to look at points.
No,
there is a way.
Points along the side.
There's a way to bring in accumulated points on this MyLap system, but I don't actually know how to do it. So no, I'm not going to go there because I'll mess it up completely. I'm sure we will get points though before the final hit. Don't worry, we will let you know. So expect to.
Brooke Peterson, 28 of Steve Peterson, 33 of Don Garthley, and Dave McSherry, and then go back to the 46. They're all jockeying for that. So who's going to have the mongrel and push their way through?
Yep.
The ones off the front, they can only go for the doctor and try and do what they can.
It's the ones in the mid-pack who can make or break this. And who's in the mid-pack? Dan McNally. the one driver we identified as likely to have a go. This could be all on, folks. A good final heat for the Canterbury Streetstock title.
And we're away and racing. The 33, Don Garthley leads us into the first corner. Yet again, Dan McNally hard on the brakes of Jonathan Garthley, so that slows him up. So all of a sudden, Matt Peterson's got about a 5 cars advantage. So he's streaking through. Just gone up the inside of his sister Brooke. Leading us at the moment, 33, the Don. Steve Peterson in the 28. He's shooting up the inside. Paul Leslie in the 1NZ. He's thereabouts. Matt Peterson. He's just sneaking up the inside of the 62 of Dave McSherry. McNally's just cruising the pole line waiting. What's he going to do? Who's he waiting for? He's just letting those ones go through at this stage.
Got a lot of smoke coming off the back of the 433.
He was in that last race too, Tony.
Yeah.
So Steve Peterson's taken over the lead from Paul Leslie in the 1NZ. Don Garthley's up high in the 33. Then we go back to Matt Peterson in the 433. He's sitting nicely at the moment.
John O'Garthley just spun up the 21 car.
So John O'Garthley's probably actually in a pretty bad position at this stage.
Yeah.
He still wants to need to pass cars.
He's going to take his frustration out, I think, on some of the other drivers.
Steve Peterson still leading us at this stage. Dan McNally's cruising that pole line. Paul Leslie at Matt Peterson having a bit of a battle down the back straight there. Then we go back to Schumacher, getting a bit of a punt in the rear end from the 62 of Dave McSherry, who just pushes out wide. Don Garthley's in there as well. Brooke Peterson, she's still there. Sean Andrews just goes round in turn 4 there. He was sitting in a spot as well. So at this stage, Matt Peterson's got past Leslie. He's sitting behind his father, Steve Peterson. Matt gives the old man a bit of a tickle up the inside. Oh, Matt, what are you doing? You're going to get yourself tangled up. This is what they don't need. Paul Leslie takes over the lead. Schumacher's going around the outside of Steve Peterson in the 77. Matt Peterson sitting in behind there, still sitting in that 4th spot at this stage. Here comes Dave McSherry. He's going to squeeze through the pair of them at a great rate of knots. Doesn't help him, drifts him up wide. Excuse me. Dave's crossed up. Schumacher's, Brooke Peterson's there. Dave McSherry, hard into the wall. He'll carry on. I think we've got go red. We've got a bumper corner sitting on the track.
So it's all on. Some of it self-inflicted, you'd have to say.
So Paul Leslie's definitely helping himself here.
Yes, he is. He was
sitting down in...
He was down in 9th place. He was down on 20 points. He was well off the leading cars, but he could swing into contention for a 3rd place spot here.
Matt Peterson in the 433 doesn't have to do anything stupid.
No, and
he doesn't need to try and pass the old boy up the inside and
frankly, he was.
Yeah.
Yes, he was doing stupid stuff, and he needs to stop that if he's going to win this championship because he's in the box seat there.
So
he's got to rein in his enthusiasm and just drive sensibly.
Don Garthley, Steve Peterson, Brooke Peterson.
Yep.
Unfortunately, that's Dave McSherry's night. So that throws Dave out of the contention.
Can't race with a bumper corner missing. Out of the woods.
So it's gone back green again. So our race leader, Paul Leslie, comes out of turn 4. That's 7 laps, he's on lap 7. So Leslie, Matt Peterson, just sitting on the side, in behind Steve Peterson. Matt's probably a wee bit quicker, but he doesn't need to do anything like he did in the last corner. He's going to go around the outside of him this time. But Paul Leslie, 1NZ, still leading it over Steve Peterson in the 28. When we go back to Matt Peterson.
Well, Darren McNally's in action again.
He's having a crack at the Garthleys. Corey Schumacher just backs out a wee bit. McNally picked up a bit of pace. He was just cruising. The 36 coming to the infield. So our race leader, Paul Leslie, comes past the start-finish line again. 1NZ leading us over the 28. Matt Peterson's just slowed up a wee bit. Just giving himself a bit of breathing space. Doesn't need to do anything stupid. Sean Andrews just bounces off the wall as he comes past us. Jonathan Garthley, he knows what's going to happen. Dan McNally.
Peterson has slowed right up.
Dan McNally sideways. John O'Garthley just holding him up. Gets turned around for his trouble, so he hasn't helped John O'Garthley's cause at all. So our race leader, Paul Leslie, has gone red. And that will be for
something else on the track possibly. Fair bit of contact in those last couple of laps.
26 pulls to the infield.
So 33
outside flat tyre.
Yep.
That's why he would have been pulled off. So there's Don
another
Gartley out of the running now. I hate that outside flat tyre rule. But unless someone puts a remit in and gets it changed, what have we got? Another bumper corner and some steel on the track down on the front straight.
Yep. So they've got the bumper corner, they've picked it up, now they've got to work out which car it's off, I guess. A fair few on the infield now. 4 of them in fact. This is where it gets a bit tricky, isn't it? Because you can't race without a bumper corner. So if you've picked up someone's bumper corner,
I'll be checking the 21 car.
They've got to look at every car to find the one. Isn't it?
Yep, he's just been sent off. But he's done what he was going to do and he's achieved it. He's taken a couple of the front runners out.
I don't think there was a prize for Stirrer, but if there was, he'd got it.
That's Dan McNally, isn't it?
Yep.
He's been around a while. And so we've gone green again. White flag for 1NZ, Paul Leslie. Then we go back to Steve Peterson in the 28. Matt Peterson just needs to sit behind him. It'll be interesting to see who's going to pick up the 3rd overall.
Yeah.
Because that could bring anybody into contention. Our race leader, Paul Leslie, the 1NZ, comes round, takes the checkered flag on the last heat of the Canterbury Streetstocks and followed home by Steve Peterson in the 28. Then we go back to Matt Peterson in the 433. Who's going to pick up this next spot? I'm not sure if it's Sean Andrews. He might be a lap down. It might have been Corey Schumacher in the 77.
Waiting for it
to roll over. No, it's Sean Andrews. Sean Andrews might be a dark horse there to pick up enough points to place in it.
And Corey Schumacher was next.
So Matt Peterson, unofficially, until the results are posted, we could probably say is the Canterbury Streetstock champ. 2nd and 3rd, I'm picking Stevie P will be in there. And then from there,
I'm just trying to work the points.
It's a lottery. So the fastest lap time, Matt Peterson did a 21.162.
So the way I've worked it out here, this is totally unofficial, just based off, without the referee's decisions about any relegations or whatever. Matt Peterson wins it on 51, from Steve Peterson on 44, and Sean Andrew on 40.
Well, So there you go.
Unofficially, that's your top 3. As soon as we know the official word, when the results are signed off, we will let you know. If it's not before the end of the commentary tonight, it'll be on the Facebook page and website in the morning.
I'm picking we should have a result.
But I'm picking so too. But unofficially, Matt Peterson is going to be the category Streetstock champion for this season.
And good driving by Matt.
Yep. Oh, yeah, I don't think anyone could argue with that. He was quick all night. Apart from one minor brain fade where he nearly climbed into his father's car.
He could have just taken them both out.
He was pretty sensible with his speed as well, and that's what you need. You need 3 solid heats. You mentioned that earlier, and he had exactly that, so that was good.
So yeah, no more results.